The Car Wash Podcast, brought to you by Castle Chemicals.
Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Car Wash Podcast Australia. Joining us today is Chris James from the Australian Car Wash Association. He's the business manager who's very motivated and has a lot of great ideas. And we're going to share those ideas with you right now. Let's get into it. Chris, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us, David.
Tell the viewers and the listeners about yourself and what is it you do?
I'm the business manager at the Australian Car Wash Association. We're, I guess, the peak body for car washers across the country, focused on supporting our members and supporting an industry toward, I guess, a commercially and environmentally sustainable future.
Beautifully said.
Thanks.
So how did you end up in this very, very niche industry that's growing very, very rapidly?
I've always had a passion for associations, have a background in the not-for-profit sector, training and education, enjoy working with people, enjoy making a difference. New to the car wash industry,
Yes.
So have only been here a short while, very steep learning curve, very, very close, but very, I think, a really engaging industry to be involved in. So our members have been not backwards and coming forwards. They've been fantastic. So, yeah, really enjoying it.
Now, we first met in Oakley for our members meetup there and the site visit, which was a good day, a big turnout.
Yeah.
What month was it? Was that February?
That was April.
April. I'm losing track of the years. It's going too quick.
Yes.
But no, I first met you and I thought great things, and I thought new blood in this industry. It's good to see, especially in the association as well. And in our conversations, you seemed very positive and very motivated. And that's what we want, especially on this show, is to get people that want to make a difference and inspire people, especially the operators. And as someone that represents the members and the operators, I think you're perfect to have in this seat right now.
Yeah,
so
looking forward to it.
how long have you been in this industry and what are your thoughts so far? And what's the journey like been so far?
I've been in the industry for around 6 months. It's been a matter of, as I said, our role as an association is to advocate on behalf of our members, to run events that help build relationships across states and across the nation, but helping members engage with each other, helping members engage with new investors who are looking to enter the industry.
Yes.
Also coaching and mentoring them, and also working with suppliers to the industry so we can, I guess, work collaboratively in getting the best outcome for members. As a car wash owner, you are not necessarily equipped with the experience, the knowledge, the tools when you enter the industry, and we're there to make sure that you have the support and advocacy to all levels of government, to all levels of regulation and compliance, but also we can make sure that you have access to all the suppliers in the industry that you might want to engage with.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what does your day-to-day look like? What are the things that you're taking on every day and the meetings you're engaging with and those sorts of things? What's going on in that?
I think my experience has been that every day, whatever you thought you were doing at the start of the day changes at approximately 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So the day can be sourcing venues for events, engaging with members. We have a lot of members who reach out that have a localised concern, issue, something that they want followed up, whether it's with their local government or whether it's with, say, the EPA or other bodies. So we work on their behalf to try and engage. And when it is going to affect other members, we have a few things going on around the nation at the moment that are impacting a huge amount of our members. And we're focused on, I guess, trying to get to the bottom of those areas so that they can just focus on running their business.
So what are some of the things you're working on? Give us some examples of things that are affecting operators that you guys are stepping in to help out with?
So we have, one of the more recent ones that we're currently dealing with is we have a state in Australia that is reducing significantly the amount of sites that will accept liquid waste.
Okay.
and mud. Therefore, we've
And that's
had
local government, local EPA rules, or is
there's
that
a combination of people that are involved. We're not saying anything's being done wrong,
yes,
but we're trying to speak on behalf of members whose transport costs may have gone from, I don't know, $2,000 per delivery to $15,000.
Yep.
Because now they all have to be deposited effectively at a central location.
right,
We have had other members. One of the projects we're working on is trying to support members in getting rid of those 20-litre containers. It's been a problem since Adam was a boy. It is apparently a real issue for in two fronts. The plastic containers aren't recyclable, so they end up going into landfill. They're 20 litres, they're large containers. They fill a skip pretty quickly, meaning operators have to get rid of the skips more regularly. They are going to landfill, which they don't want. They would far prefer to be having them recycled.
Yep.
So we're working with down a couple of different avenues at the moment, focused on either providing the service to clean containers at a centralised location, also looking at some products that would help create somewhat of a circular industry, where it would work with operators, suppliers, and recyclers to reduce and remove the amount of waste.
that's a huge one actually. From a chemical company, that's the biggest question we get is, how do we dispose of our 20-litre containers?
Yes.
And unfortunately, it's not up to us. It's up to the tips and the way they handle it and the way they process the rubbish and the waste is that they don't recycle it.
No.
And some tips will take it for free, depending on your council.
Yes.
But there's just, I don't know, it needs to be better. And, we'd love to take them back, but we can't use them because they've been contaminated, so they're waste.
Yes.
So, if there's a way that someone can find a way to improve that would help a lot of operators and so on. And what else is happening? What else, we've got the car wash show coming up.
Car wash show coming up in October.
Yep.
October 13 to 15. That's going to be a huge event, the largest in the Southern Hemisphere. So we're very excited and spending quite a bit of time on preparing for that.
Yes.
That's in Adelaide this year at the Wayville Showgrounds. It's as I said, it's the largest expo and dedicated car wash expo in the Southern Hemisphere. We have 2 days of a fairly traditional expo. Every supplier that is involved in the car wash industry and universe will be displaying their wares at this show. So it's a good chance for operators and potentially new investors looking to enter the market to get in front of the people that can make decisions and will help you make decisions. And that can be everything from equipment, chemicals, insurance. It can be solar providers. It can be waste removal.
It's all the things that you don't really think of that could help improve your business. And
Correct.
There's so many stands there and you just wander around, you talk to different people. It's like, I didn't really realize I needed that or that existed. So,
Exactly.
So that's a good one. So everyone listening, watching, if you're interested in the space, getting into the space, or you're already in the space, come to the car wash show. It's an awesome event. So
also very one thing that probably doesn't get highlighted enough is the networking and the social aspect. The day before the expo commences on the 13th, we have bus tours. So we have bus tours that are going to sites that might have great technology, great equipment that showcase what's going on in the industry.
So the bus tours are always good for those that want to learn more. And we touched on this in our conversations, but we're very privileged that we get to see a lot of car wash sites and see a lot of equipment in just our roles naturally. But a lot of people, if they have a car wash, the only car wash they know is their own, or they rarely get to see someone else's car wash. So when you do run an event or have the opportunity to do a bus tour or something like that, it's a bit of show and tell and a bit of an opportunity for you to see what others are doing. So, and that's the benefit of this podcast, to try and broaden people's horizons and open people's minds to see what's out there. But I think these opportunities to do a tour and to see many sites in one go, will be very beneficial. So
We've also tried to add a bit of variety this year. So we also have a party bus tour.
oh, that's good.
And that one's going out to the Bend, go-karting,
That's good.
and then back through a winery.
Yep.
And the other tours go through whether it's a winery or a pub. It's a very social aspect.
Yep.
But then we have the evenings also have the welcome event and the party in the wash bay.
That's good.
Just a good chance where you'll mingle. You'll get to
It's nice
talk.
you're thinking beyond the grounds of the, because it is at a showgrounds, you're thinking beyond the grounds of the actual show itself. You're making an actual event and utilising Adelaide. Because is this the first time it's been in Adelaide?
Yes, it is the first time it's been held in Adelaide.
The last two have been in Sydney.
And we had COVID prior. That's held every 2 years, this one. And we also have education sessions in the morning. So we have speakers who are experts on their area of knowledge, and they present on an auditorium, and that's in the mornings prior to the expo. So you can come along, learn. We'll be putting a whole rundown of all the speakers that will be presenting.
Yes.
Two that are quite nationally well known, others that are well known to the industry.
Yes.
So looking to give a bit of something for everyone.
Very good. And come down, buy your tickets, get them now. Early Bird is still doing early birds.
Early Bird's still on sale, and we also have a deal if you're not a member, you can sign up.
Yes.
A discounted membership rate, which will also then give you access to discounted tickets.
Very good. And where can people get the tickets?
You can get your tickets online at carwashshowaustralia.com.au or go to our website as well, which is ACWA.net.au, and you'll be led through to where you can purchase your tickets, and you can select if you're a member of ACWA or not, and all the options are available to you in one place.
And if everything Chris has told you isn't enticing enough, yours truly will be there.
Absolutely.
So if that gets you over the line, I'll be doing signatures. No, I'm just joking. But it reminds me, because you are organising entertainment, all these other things around the show, Fiona did get in contact with me about entertainment, so I've got to follow that up. But
fantastic.
I don't know if you did end up hiring anyone. I gave her some details and some names and stuff.
I will follow that up once we've done today.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But no, I'm excited to see how it all turns out, which will be good.
It'll be great.
Very good. Now, on that, it's a good opportunity for you guys to highlight yourselves and the event you put on, and you put on numerous events throughout the year.
Yep.
Why should people sign up with ACWA? Okay, so what are the benefits and what do you guys do? And do you want to talk about prices? I don't know if we want to talk about prices, but
look, I think the idea with ACWA, as I said, is we're the peak body. We aim to provide advocacy, support, guidance, linkages for all operators across the country. As I said, I'm new to the industry, so I still have that huge amount of passion to drive growth and get into areas that we haven't, so I will be reaching out. As an association, a lot of people see us as maybe an insurance policy. The drought, we were able to assist the industry from being shut down.
okay.
Car washes were being told to shut down. We were able to lobby where necessary and have a limited service, but we were able to keep car washes open, keep people in work, keep owners able to bring in an income. That's probably something that we'll have to look at again pretty soon.
Okay, right. It's getting bad in some areas.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm in Western Victoria. Western Victoria has been in a fairly dry state for quite some time. Other areas around the country are starting to experience that dryness. So we will be working with local government, state and federal where necessary to support members to make sure they can remain viable, remain open. As you said, we run members events in each state. The idea is, apart from a social event, it's also to showcase new technologies, products available, to bring in new suppliers to the industry and showcase their wares in front of a captive audience. And those events vary. We had, as you said, Melbourne in Oakley. We had an event in Brisbane at a fantastic tunnel car wash. And we also had an event in Adelaide, which was a pub dinner. So it really depends on the members' needs. And I'll be reaching out to members, as I said, in my new capacity. So one of the things that's been relayed to me is people really would like to know significantly in advance when these events are on so that they can book. So my job, I've scheduled all events for 2027.
Yes.
They'll be released in end of October so that everyone will have them on our website for the year ahead. They can see what they're wanting to do.
Yes. Very good.
So,
and beyond the events, there's obviously other things that ACWA provides and resources that they provide.
Yep.
And in our conversations, which was a little bit disappointing, you're saying you are giving these communications out there, but then you follow up and talk to someone and they haven't even heard about it or seen the communications. So, this is a good opportunity because maybe you'll get a different type of audience potentially, or, people hopefully are listening to this podcast to and from work and not at a computer and skipping through emails or missing emails. But just tell them what's going on, where should they be looking for information, and how are you getting that information to people? Because it sounds like a lot of people are missing out on things, and this is that value piece. People often ask, what do I get for my money? What's the value in signing up the Australian Car Wash Association? Because that's the question I get all the time. Like, what does the Australian Car Wash Association actually do for me?
Yeah, what's in it for me?
But there's plenty of resources that you provide and information that you're putting out there that people aren't seeing. So tell us about that. What are you putting out there and.
And I would say to that though, one of the things that I have become acutely aware of is most people in this industry are small business owners.
Yeah.
They are busy working in their business, and often that working on your business takes a back seat while you're just trying to get through the day-to-day. So we provide industrial relations support. All members have access to a dedicated line to Graham, who's fantastic, who will help with industrial relations matters in a broad spectrum. We have Bill, who will provide OH&S, WHS support, free consult to all members.
Yep.
He is a wealth of knowledge.
So this is Safety First Professionals.
Correct.
Yes.
So
We've actually got an episode coming out with him, and that'll be the next episode.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
So the thing that we see more often than not, and John will probably attest to this, will be a lot of operators look to OH&S after the fact. And this is our focus is on trying to help them and give them the tools and the resources before the fact.
Yes.
So
it's quite often an afterthought. And the thing that inspired me to get John on the podcast is literally the day of launching, or the day after I launched the first episode with Pat, I had a phone call from a customer and they had an incident at their site. And straight away I thought, we need to have an episode on safety because it gets overlooked. And that inspired me. So John will be coming out, but you have resources on your page.
We have resources. We have lots of downloadable resources that you can then take as your own, as any association member has.
Yeah.
We have tools. We have some online tools. We've just launched a new tool for new investors, which allows them to plug in every conceivable aspect of their business, where the position is, where the business is located, traffic flow, amount of days of the year they're operating, weather, and how much that impacts their business. And it'll give them a full report on capital investment requirements, equipment investment requirements, and gives them all the background to kind of show them where to go. We're also soon to be releasing an SEO audit tool. Most of our members have a website, but a lot of those websites are plug and play. They've built them, they're fantastic, but they're probably not kept up to date to do what they're meant to do, which is drive more business, make people more aware. So this tool, you'll be able to get a full comprehensive report of where traffic's going, how long it's staying on your website, and what you could do better content-wise to engage more potential customers.
Yes.
So that'll be released shortly. And as you said, we have a lot of downloadable, standard resources that people will need for their day-to-day running of their
They're
business.
probably unaware that these exist.
Correct. And then you've got resources like myself.
Yes.
As you said, Fiona and Belinda. We will take any project that any member wants and we will drive it to whichever conclusion we can. So as I said, I had a call from someone that said, I'm no longer able to get my liquid waste picked up and I'm here. That led me to chasing through local council, EPA, to find what was happening in that area. That ended up impacting quite a number of other providers or another number of other operators. And we were then able to start lobbying to get a better outcome for them, which we're sort of in the process of doing at the moment.
Yes.
We see those projects as you're, as you said, busy working on your business or in your business. Let me do the background work so you don't have to think about it. And yeah, we've had questions about the upcoming wage rate impact, the changes to obviously the credit card surcharges.
I was going to bring this up.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of changes and these sorts of things and then external changes that then affect your business.
Yep.
I probably want to dedicate a whole episode with an expert on the field of the surcharges and maybe a payment operator or something like that.
Yep.
Just quickly, what are you guys doing on that and advocating for that in terms of knowledge and advice for people to then incorporate that into their costs? Because it's not just car washes, it's cafes, it's any sort of spend. The surcharge needs to be absorbed into the cost, so there needs to be no additional surcharge after you've made the payment. So what are you guys doing on that front?
There's a number of different areas you can look at altering, potentially some slight alterations to the way you operate your business. It can be to do with the pricing. As long as you are not intending to hide the fact that you are still covering a surcharge,
Okay.
there are ways you can look at your pricing, look at your membership, look at the way you operate. So it's still disclosing everything that's required and you're operating completely legitimately. But you are able to, I guess, not be impacted adversely.
Okay.
So we have we release a monthly newsletter. That was one of the articles in our newsletter to members.
Yes.
I've also dealt with 3 members individually to give them individual advice on areas that can help support their business without them being adversely impacted.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are ways that you can deal with this as long as you're not trying to get around it.
Yes, that's good. It's a very somewhat brief overview, but it's enlightening, which is good. But like I said, we probably need to have a whole episode focused just on that, digging a little bit deeper and giving people ways to do it. Because I think that's going to be a big one and a shock to the system for a lot of people because they have to adjust prices, and that's a very sensitive thing for people because I dare say a lot of car wash operators have increased prices over the last year or 2 years, and just because of the rising cost of everything.
Yep.
But yeah, and speaking of rising costs, obviously we had the fuel crisis and those sorts of things. What are you observing with that and the trends in the market, and what are you? How are you then relaying information on market trends and what the market's doing, the external factors of the economy? How do you relay that to members and operators as well?
So usually it's through direct communication.
Okay.
Whether it's through a newsletter, through an email from myself, we try and keep members abreast of changes that are happening that are going to impact them. Now, the feedback I get from a lot of our operators is the fuel impact, as well as cost of living pressures and other, has impacted probably metro businesses 20 to 30% in some areas. Regional different. I think we've also looked at, I think you touched on the fact that the weather, it's been a reasonably dry winter. Which has actually benefited members because more people obviously wash their cars or they get dirtier.
And it's crazy because you talk to some people and think, numbers are really low, but then you talk to other people and they're saying, we've had the best June or July we've had in years, you know? So there was obviously a little bit of a rebound effect from the fuel crisis and everything going on with that because people stop that impulsive spending.
Yes.
But I think it's good to have more avenues and more channels to educate people on what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've released some demographic data, we've released some survey data that also will highlight areas that are like Australia often relies on the US for trends and technology and equipment, and Australia is progressing really well and strong in the car wash industry. We are in no league toward America. We are starting to embrace membership programs, probably more than we did 5 years ago.
Yep.
It is something that people are really benefiting from, but it is also something when you have a cost of living crisis going on that people do cut first.
Yeah.
So,
Just on that, like obviously, Australia's its own market in itself.
Absolutely.
Do you engage the International Car Wash Association and people in America to try and get ideas with what might help here in Europe and other markets?
Yeah, so we're in touch regularly with the International Car Wash Association.
Yep.
Eric will be coming to the Car Wash Show Australia.
Yeah, okay.
So he'll be presenting at the show. The CEO.
Yes, yeah.
The European market's somewhat different. The English market is very different to Australia. They are having some real issues with the hand car wash industry
in England.
In England, it's a big issue with. COVID was a big change.
Yes,
where they had a far more mobile car detailers who have potentially diluted the industry significantly.
Right.
Europe is another area where you can get some amazing technology and some technological advancements, but probably our closest linkages is with the International Car Wash Association.
That's good.
In the US.
That's good. And I feel like they lead a lot of the trends. I heard that the hand car washers in England, instead of having coffee shops, they just give you tea. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
They're less inclined to have a coffee over there. But no, that's good. And I think we need to see what's happening around the world to get other ideas. And if anyone hasn't been to the show in America, I feel like they probably should and go check it out just to see. And there's a show in Europe as well, so you can go over there and check it out and see what's going on.
We have providers coming from Prague, from the US. We have suppliers coming from all over to the Car Wash Show, Australia. So they'll be displaying their wares here, some that are well established in the Australian market, others that are probably looking for distributors, looking for distribution opportunities in Australia that haven't been there yet.
Beautiful.
So, it's
going to be good. It's going to be very insightful to get a lot of people from a lot of different areas to the show so people can talk to and get some insight from. And Eric Wolf, is it? Yeah. So he's going to be speaking as well.
He'll be presenting at the show.
Excited to see that.
I'll be actually catching up with him a bit earlier as well. He's a really engaging, knowledgeable, long-term advocate for the industry.
Beautiful.
So, well worth listening to.
Good. So you are newer to the industry, and also Belinda's come on board as well.
Yep.
Is she replacing Fiona?
Yes.
Okay.
Fiona will be.
She's retiring.
Will be retiring.
Okay.
It's the worst kept secret in the industry at the moment.
Right.
There'll be a lot of people. I think it's 25 years in the industry.
Wow.
So most people who have ever dealt with ACWA, us, have dealt with Fiona, and she has a lot of friends in the industry. So we'll be finding a fitting farewell for Fiona so everyone gets the chance to say farewell and thank you.
Very good. Very good. And so it's good. And again, I did get you on the show because you are new blood, and obviously Belinda's new blood as well. And it's good to get new people into this industry. But just want to know a little bit about your thoughts initially, just on a bit of a deeper level of the industry, and what do you think as a whole,
I have been really pleasantly surprised with the industry as a whole, for the simple reason it is an industry that you don't need a master's degree to have access to it, but you have to be a really astute business person to succeed in the industry.
Yes.
You need to know your numbers. You need to know everything about your business. And that's some of the areas we really try and help with, because we were talking around a majority of new entrants to the car wash industry and interest in the car wash industry are from people who have not yet been in this industry.
Yeah. And as Rory touched on, he said 70%.
70%, yeah.
Of interest in car wash is new people new to the industry, yeah. Which
And
is a
the
huge number.
industry has a view that there's been a consolidation going on,
Mm-hmm.
being larger providers buying out smaller providers.
Mm-hmm.
There is that happening, but because the industry is such a positive growth prospect, there's a real interest in just people entering the market because it can be quite a rewarding industry as an operator. There's also limited barriers to entry. Cost is obviously can be prohibitive, but I've really appreciated how much the industry has wrapped their arms around me so far.
Yeah.
I've dealt with countless operators around the country and suppliers. And apologies to any of those suppliers and operators who I've met at one of our state shows and not at the next. I've kind of worked out of the 60 to 80 people I meet at a show, there's only so many names that I'll retain.
Yeah, and no one's going to hold that against you. But it's good to air it out and let people know. I'm not being rude. I just it's information overload.
Yes, but everyone's. I think what I've found is that there's people are willing to provide insight.
Yeah.
People are willing to support and mentor those that other industries would consider their competitors.
Right. That's good.
There's a real collaborative approach with operators in localized areas in supporting each other.
It's interesting, isn't it? It is. There's networks and people work together and people rely on each other.
Equipment is being driven from one site to another because something's out there.
And things are so niche and where, people – it's weird, but they lean on their competitors.
They do
in more than one way, or in multiple ways.
Yes.
Just on the welcoming you to the industry, I think people have welcomed you with open arms purely based on your attitude. I think you go about things the right way, and that was my first impression of you. You seem very motivated. You seem like you've got your head screwed on tight, and that you want the best for this industry.
Yeah, absolutely, appreciate it.
Just on, I don't mean to throw any shade, but people do have stigmas about the association, and they hear things, and there's because you did ask me earlier what I thought of the industry, and I think the industry is great. I think it's such a large spectrum from car wash to car wash. You have just the ma and pa car wash owner that have one car wash. You have the multiple site businesses, and then you have the conglomerates with investors and all those sorts of things. So it's such a huge spectrum of the same thing, and I think not a changing of the guard, but more so just fresh blood in the industry to give new ideas and new hope to the industry that it's going in the right direction. And speaking with Rory as well, with his advisory, he's giving great information. You've got great ideas. So I think, he can really stamp out that stigma and the bad experiences that people have had and revitalize it with fresh ideas and a fresh atmosphere. You know what I mean?
Look, I appreciate it. Look, I'm not privy to all the conversations that have happened. I have a knowledge of the industry, and everyone's been really open to talk. Mm-hmm. My focus is on going forward.
Yes,
it's not about what has happened unless I can learn from it.
Yeah,
it's about what we can do now.
Yeah,
and a lot of that I see is member engagement, but not in a way that beats them around their head. Socialization is another thing that a lot of people ask for. The networking across industry, inducting new members to the industry. Mm-hmm. So one of the big issues we have is, as you said, people who haven't been in the industry taking over a site, they don't necessarily know what happens with the vac and the filters that they need to clean. They don't know how to dismantle equipment. They don't know where to look for someone to service.
And you're talking about training for new employees and giving the operators and managers induction training.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also engaging with the suppliers to induct the people that have bought their equipment.
Yes.
I had a member reach out recently asking for servicing of equipment. They wanted their equipment serviced, and where should they go? The installer of that equipment was more than happy to do the servicing, but there hadn't been an engagement previously, so we just linked them. Yeah. So it can be as simple as that, where people just aren't sure. They then come to us and we source out their query.
And I heard a similar story. Someone who's new to the industry, has been in the industry for a few years. They bought a car wash. They had an issue with some of their equipment. They actually got in touch with Fiona, and then Fiona was able to link them up with the appropriate people to then get the issue resolved, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it was done on it wasn't warranty, but it was done on a courtesy basis, you know what I mean?
Well,
So
yeah.
it was, and that's what you guys do. You can put people in the right
and we
point
can
them in the right direction.
Point them in the right direction. Tell them about things. So one thing that Victorian members may not know is they're able to get free OH&S site audits.
Yes.
They're able to engage that. John, Safety First Professionals, will do that for them.
Yes.
They just have to reach out to him.
Yes.
And his details are obviously on our website. John's fantastic, but that's what members don't know. And they don't have to fork out hand over fist. This is a service that's offered to them where the outcome is only provided to them. The results are only provided to them. No one else sees them.
Yes.
There's a lot of fear in people of like we're undertaking a wastewater project at the moment, looking at the quality of water that's going to the sewers.
Yes.
People were worried that because we've engaged an organisation that's travelling the country, going to a myriad of sites to get collections from their sites, and people were worried about, well, they don't want to have that. They don't want to have a stigma. They don't want to have what's our quality like.
Yes.
We're worried about the outcome. The outcome is simply that we're going to support them either by providing them with a great report that tells them that their water's fantastic, and this is something that they can talk to their local water bodies about when they're talking about trade waste. It's also something they could potentially look to use in another way. But if their water isn't of good quality, then we're going to work with them on how we can improve it.
Improve it, yeah.
The environmental sustainability aspect of our industry is critically important at the moment.
Yes.
And
Is it getting scrutinised or just in certain areas?
It
or
is-
Are they coming down harder?
in certain states, they have been coming down harder. They have triggers that they use often, reporting that has happened, tip-offs, but dependent on the state, the environmental agencies operate in different ways in different states. The water bodies also have different requirements. One of the other projects I'm doing is trying to engage with every major water body in Australia and work out how the association can work with them to ensure members are compliant, but members are also supported.
Yep.
That's a huge project, and I'm one person, so that is going to take time.
It's going to take time.
But it is something that we're looking to build on so that our members get the local support, and we try and remove any kind of adversarial approach that's taken. We aren't trying to get around cut corners. We're not trying to do anything dodgy there. We're trying to work out how our members can best remain compliant,
Yes.
but still operate their business.
That's a huge step in the right direction. And on compliance, after speaking with John from Safety First Professionals, you know, one thing I want to advocate for and I always push for is safety.
Yeah.
And especially from a chemical background, we don't realize, well, we know, but I think operators don't realize and then their employees, more importantly, because they're not buying the stuff,
Yes.
don't realize how aggressive some of the stuff can be.
Yeah.
I just want to see more regulation around safety, machinery safety, manual handling as well. Because how do we improve safety it's just awareness and education, isn't it? Like
A combination from our perspective, it has to be awareness and education. Education is huge. Again, going back to a lot of new entrants into the market, they aren't being put through a process that educates them about the chemicals they're using and so forth. So the idea is taking a proactive approach, making sure that people get the support, and if they're lost, they have someone to go to.
yes,
Because the alternative is the compliance aspect and the audits become more heavy.
correct. That's right.
So we prefer to use the carrot rather than the stick.
Stick, that's right.
So keep the stick.
And that comes from being proactive because I see too, and like yourself, you go to a lot of sites to see a lot of things. I go to a lot of sites and work heavily on equipment and in plant rooms and work with the staff there. and some of the things I see is questionable. And I try and train people when I see them if they're doing not the wrong thing, but if things can be done better, or they try and make sure that they're aware of certain things, especially around PPE and handling of chemicals and these sorts of things. Like one thing we spoke about with John was bunding, and I don't think people even think bunding exists. Now, for those that don't know, bunding is either a crate or a platform for chemicals to sit on or sit in to then contain chemical if there's a spill, or, because a lot of people use powders and you go on a plant room, there's powder everywhere. And I just want to see more regulation, because I know there's people out there and teenagers out there that are working these sites that'll be sort of a little bit green in the area of, and or not wanting to speak up. So I'm just trying to prevent injuries and prevent people from getting hurt.
Absolutely.
And so for me, I'd like to see more regulation in that regard. So it's an education piece, like you said.
Yes. I mean, we would prefer to educate people, so the need to regulate people is limited as much as possible.
Yes.
You go back to the days where everyone knew of a car wash as fishing line that was going to tear a car apart in their minds.
Yes, that's right.
We've come a long way since then. The equipment is far safer, far less impactful. I now only use certain types of car washes just because I've found that gives the best clean.
Yep.
But then you also think of the alternative. People at home are effectively using more water to wash their car in their driveway. They're also not capturing any of the runoff from that wash, whether it be the chemicals or the natural contaminants on the car.
So it's not processed properly.
It's not processed at all, and that's going straight down the drains. So we would like to educate just the general public on the benefit of a car wash and how much of a difference it can make to both their wash and the quality of their wash and the environment that they are living in.
100%. One thing I wanted to talk about, and you touched on earlier, is regional sites and metropolitan sites. How are you handling regional sites versus metropolitan sites? Because they're obviously two different markets, and there's a lot of overlap, and a lot of things are very similar. But from regional people, do they miss out on some of the opportunities to then go to some of these site visits and those sorts of things, because there is more distance to travel? So how are we engaging people that are more in more regional areas, isolated
trying
areas?
one-on-one visits?
Okay,
but that unfortunately isn't.
Is that something you do?
Yeah. It's not something I have the capacity to do nationwide, but that is part of our member events. The events aren't just about getting as many people in one spot. We run a couple of events in each state every year. Mm-hmm. The idea is, if we potentially run an event south and north in a state, or east and west in a state, whichever operates more effectively there. Regional sites, I've got to say, we've had a really good turnout of regional operators to our members' events. Mm-hmm. They are coming out in spades. They are willing to do the drive, but I guess it shows the impact of the networking and the capacity to get in front of other members.
Yes.
And just hear about what's going on.
Yeah.
I guess
that's your job, to sell it to them.
Correct.
To the incentive to come down and make it worth their while.
Yeah. So I can tell you, I'm going through a hell of a lot more diesel running through the through the regional sites, but I live in regional Victoria, so don't mind the longer drives.
Yeah. Okay. And how do you choose the sites for member days and member events? How do you choose the site? For example, Oakley, how do you then decide where you're going to have those?
So it can be a combination of things, but it needs to be something that's of interest to the other operators and members.
Yeah, okay.
Oakley was a new site. It was brand new equipment.
Made a lot of
was
sense.
Refurbished. It had been rebuilt. Mm-hmm. It was a good chance to showcase a number of both equipment providers, chemical providers, but also we also had a couple of other new suppliers that were able to showcase their wares. It depends on what our members want. As I said, Adelaide, there was no car wash. There was simply a member evening held in central Adelaide at a pub dinner.
Heard it wrapped up at like 1 a.m. or something.
I think I was one of the earlier finishers. The guys in Adelaide and the girls in Adelaide really enjoyed their catch up.
Yeah,
they had a good time.
That's good.
Yes.
So yeah, and I guess it's just identifying what works for certain people, but then trying different things and seeing what works.
I'm new, so I'll be putting out a communication to our members to ask what they would like their member event to look like. People are very open and vocal to explain their frustrations or the positive aspects. But to be honest, every event I've been to, it's been well attended, but also a good mix of operators and suppliers, and also a good chance that people have actually had a fairly relaxed catch-up. So, again, I apologise if I haven't recognised or known someone that's been at a couple of the events, but I'm getting there.
Beautiful. Now, Chris, is there anything today that we've missed or you'd like to touch on? Or
No, you've been pretty thorough. As I said, the car wash show in Adelaide is your best chance to get in front of
and that's what
everyone.
I wanted to reiterate on. The car wash show, come along. It's a great time. And from the sounds of it, you guys are making it like a little bit of an event rather than just a show that people rock up. It's going to be more engaging.
Get into the education sessions early, get on the bus tours, get to the evening parties. The idea is you're in a different state. It is a business event, but you have so much beauty, so much of a state to visit.
It's a good excuse to get out to Adelaide.
Yeah, you might be at you might be at our expo for 3 days or 2 to 3 days, but then make a week of it. You bring your partner. Travel the state, enjoy the wineries, enjoy the.
It's tax deductible.
Not for me to say, but absolutely, it's as I said, it's a business event.
Yeah. I went to Gather Round earlier this year in Adelaide, and that was awesome. It's a really cool state. It's a quiet city, Adelaide. Well, probably not as quiet when we get there, but there's a lot. Yeah, the wineries and so on. And a lot of beautiful countryside.
They're quickly becoming a sporting capital with the MotoGP.
Live golf as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're picking themselves back up. They're doing a great job.
And last but not least, how do people engage you, get in touch with you, and again, why should they join ACWA?
If they're looking to engage with us, aqua.net.au, you go to the contact section, you're going to have my direct mobile number and our organisational email, so you will find us very clearly. Why join ACWA? Our job is to be there for our members. We engage as much as you want to engage. We will work in the background on projects that you feel are important to yourself and the industry. We will work with you directly on projects that are just relevant to you, but you will also have access to a myriad of resources. You will have access to paper resources, tools for your business, tools to improve your business, a network of suppliers that are more than willing to service you, and also all the events that we host to try and get this industry working as closely as it can together.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, sir.
And I look forward to October at the Car Wash Show.
Absolutely. Look forward to seeing you there, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
The Car Wash Podcast, brought to you by Castle Chemicals.